This is the code organization activity in C#. I have a solution open so we can use this as we're diving through. This activity is really more about learning the different mechanisms for organizing code, not best practices. But it is worth doing some research on your own. Make sure you understand what some of those are. I will cover those here. I'm not going to go into some of the questions down below. I think those are worth exploring on your own. So let me open up a couple of files here so we can take a look and see some of the things that we have available to us. So at the lowest level for organizing code, we have functions. So functions or methods or procedures are all available in C#. In C#, all functions must live inside some type, usually a class. It could be a class or a struct, but they need to exist in some other type. So functions cannot be at the root level, which takes us to the next level, which are types. So at the lowest level, we have functions. At the next level up, we have types. There are 5 different kinds of types in the .NET framework. Class is one of them, and it's probably the most common one we use. In addition to class, and I'll switch over to this one, in addition to classes, we also have structs, enums, move this cursor so you can see, interface, and delegate. So class, struct, enum, interface, and delegate. Those are the different kinds of types that we have available to us. So types are the next level up in terms of organizing things into a named container that makes sense. Moving up from types, we have namespaces. Let me switch over to the other one so we can see the namespace here. Here's our namespace. So namespace declaration appears usually towards the top of a file in a C# class, or C# file rather. Namespaces, think of these as virtual folders. They're basically container structures that hold any number of types. And namespaces are nested in each other with a dot notation. So you can see that this type mirror reverse text model exists in the models namespace, which is a namespace in the web app namespace. So these are nested containers. So web app is a namespace which has the web app.models or models namespace inside it, and inside that namespace we can see this class inside that namespace. And when I hover, you can see that it prefixes the type name with the IntelliSense with web app.models, which is the namespace in front of it. So namespaces are just categorizations. They're groupings for different types. They're ways of aligning things and grouping things together. Hopefully that makes sense to live together. So that's the idea of namespaces. Moving up from namespaces, we have files directly. So a file ends in a .cs extension for C#. A file by convention in C# will have one type, and the type should be the same as the file name. So mirror reverse text model.cs, you can see it's mirror reverse text model class. So they should always match, generally speaking, that's by convention, and we should only have one type in any given CS file. There are times when we violate that rule, but it is a general convention that we follow in the C# world. There should be one, each file should have one and only one type, and that type name should be the same as the file name. So those are the conventions there. Moving up from files, we have projects. So this solution has 2 different projects. We see it's got an acceptance test project and a web app project. Each project is a container of any number of namespaces, which are containers for any number of types, which are a container for any number of functions. So this is the nested structure of everything. Projects will compile into assemblies, and assemblies in the .NET framework will be one of 2 different kinds of files, either a DLL file, so .dll, which is dynamic link library, or a .exe file, which is an executable file or an executable application. And then moving up for projects, we have solutions themselves. Solutions do not compile into anything. They're simply containers that have one or more other projects inside. The projects are what have all the code. The solution is just a container for those projects. So those are the different mechanisms available in C# for organizing our code.